Well, hello, veterans and everybody watching. Welcome back to the Veteran YouTube channel, where we're going to talk about some more VA disability. As always, I'm your friendly VA-accredited attorney, Matthew Lang, here to give you the knowledge and experience that I have. I hope everybody's doing well out there. We are at an end of a year, roughly. Another year coming up. Got holidays going on, had to face a government shutdown, so I do hope everybody is doing okay with everything going on out there today. Hey, so let's talk about some hurdles that we run into when we process claims with the VA. And VA, I'm going to let you know what those hurdles are from this side of the table. I want you to see what these look like as well. And when I talk about these hurdles, I'm going to talk about them in a way of answering a single question, because the question I've seen throughout my career, working with the VA and working outside the VA, and one I believe I've mentioned on another video before. And I'm going to do so by answering the question of, does the VA deny claims so the veteran will go away? Well, the short answer is, well, no. I don't believe so. But it definitely can feel like it. There are structural reasons why veterans often interpret it that way and why it may feel that way. So legally, VA is not permitted to deny claims simply to discourage veterans. The VA operates, or is supposed to operate, in a pro-claimant or non-adversarial system, and its duties are defined by statute and case law. VA adjudicators must apply the benefit of the doubt rule underneath 38 U.S.C. They must liberally read and sympathetically develop a veteran's claim, as the court has laid out multiple times. They've got to provide adequate reasons or bases for all their findings, according to 38 U.S.C. and according to multiple court cases. They're supposed to assist in developing evidence. Again, another duty underneath the 38 U.S.C. and reinforced by multiple court cases. However, we find veterans often experience the system as if the VA wants them to quit. That experience is valid, and I'd like to think it's explainable. So what does it feel like? So why does it feel like VA wants to have veterans give up? Why all these hurdles? Well, one, there's a higher error rate and rush decisions. The VA has widely acknowledged accuracy problems throughout so many years. But in my experience, I can't say that those accuracy issues are being addressed over all these years. It's not the focus. In fact, I estimate from my experience here that the Board of Veterans' Appeals overturns or even remands as many as 80% of appeal decisions each year. Now, these errors that they're remanding or overturning include inadequate medical opinions. Number one, we've talked about that multiple times, year after year. Failure to address favorable evidence. We see that a lot as well. Completely ignoring the evidence that gives the grant to the veteran. Ignoring reasonably raised theories. Not addressing the, say, obesity theories when an examiner mentions that it could be related to their obesity due to their service-connected conditions or due to veteran service-connected conditions. Misapplication of law, that's huge. We're working with individuals who I know from experience, and after being in the training academy for one class was enough to tell me that they are not trained in the proper application of law in so many scenarios. We got a copy and paste production point decision. VA has moved into a direction of here, click that, throw in this copy paste, the system generated text, and move the claim along. They don't even train reasons and bases requirements that have been around since the 90s. They're just not trained that way. So I like to think it's not intentional harassment. It's the outcome of a product-driven quota, understaffing, and training gaps. So let's talk about a system built around claims processing and not veteran outcomes. So the adjudicators, frontline adjudicators, are evaluated by their speed, by their volume, and their work credit. There are production standards for both the adjudicator, for the office, for the region, district, for the nation. Those standards are heavy on production and how fast can you move a claim, not how accurate you can complete that claim, not how many mistakes you make that claim. Sure, there is a quality piece to it, but I'll have to say from my experience that the quality checklist that exists does not focus enough, if at all, on the actual legal errors that are continuously made. Well, that and only 5% or less of an adjudicator's claims for the month are ever reviewed. So it's definitely a system built on speed, volume, and work credit. How fast can you get the claim out? How many can you do in a month, a day, a week? And how much credit are you going to get for that claim? The fewer number of issues, disabilities claimed, the fewer number of credits. The more claimed, the more credits. At least that's what I experienced. So if you've got a big claim, you want to move it for speed, and you want to get a bunch more out to get that volume, it's a great way to get some high work credit. Just get it out of the way. Click buttons and deny it. Now, this is all a result of decisions looking like it's deny first. Let the appeal system deal with it. Let the appeal system clean it up. But we find a lot of flaws there as well, as most of the appeal system, or at least a chunk of it, is also in the same VA offices that make the original mistakes. These are the challenges that we face when we file claims. Lack of training, production standards, copy and paste, no idea what the law is. And yes, ultimately, it feels like deny the veteran so they'll go away. Let somebody else deal with it. Job security, right? We got plenty of claims to work. But what happens here? Well, by facing these challenges and having this kind of setup in the VA world, veterans bear the burden of pushing their own claims. Even with a pro-claimant standard, the VA often fails to order exams when required. We see that here. Apply the duty to assist fully. That is like every decision we see here. Read claims sympathetically. That is very common. I've even seen VA decide that when an adjudicator does read it sympathetically, that they want to call it a clear and unmistakable error and take away the benefit. Consider secondary or reasonably raised conditions. That's fairly common here too. And the application of case law is not done correctly by the VA. We argue that every day. So when the VA misses its obligations, the veteran must fix it by appeal. And this feels like go away, even though legally it's insufficiency and not intent. But what about those veterans with mental health issues as well? They're vulnerable to giving up. The VA knows veterans suffer from PTSD and depression and anxiety and traumatic stress. These conditions are likely to reduce the persistence a veteran will have in order to continue pushing their claim when it's denied incorrectly. So flawed denial issued to a depressed veteran, for example, functions like a deterrent even if it wasn't designed as one. They go away. I find many veterans will come to my desk, my office here, when they're at that point. They're ready to give up. They think the VA doesn't care, and they feel like they're being denied, just so they do go away. They're stressed out. They're deterred. So with these being the errors that occur and some of the challenges that we have in the VA world and the belief that it presents, the question really comes is, so why doesn't VA fix it? Well, because the system is designed for throughput, not accuracy. Everybody's always asking, how long will it take for my claim to get done? No one ever asks, how many times will it take to get it done right? So until the VA changes how adjudicators are evaluated, until they invest more deeply in training, and proper training at that, until they impose stronger accountability for errors all the way across the board, up the chain, down the chain, and until they empower quality over quantity review, veterans, you will continue to experience the system as adversarial, even though on paper it's non-adversarial. So the practical truth, the VA expects you to keep pushing. The VA wants you to bring that claim back through the appeals world, wants to justify their job by denying it and having it worked and show, look, we got this many claims that we've worked. It's all numbers based. It's not because they want you to go away, veterans. It's because the system is built so that most corrections happen on that appeal and not at the initial level. And that's why so many veterans eventually win. Supplemental claims, higher level reviews, board appeals, especially board appeals from my point of view. And it's really sad because we find that nearly all of the board appeals I do are granted with the exact same evidence that they were denied with on an initial claim, on a supplemental claim, or even a higher level review claim. But because those claims are being pushed that far, and there's only so many lawyers and judges, so many attorneys and judges, those claims take multiple years. And everybody's like, but that's going to take me 3 years to file my claim and get it won. I want it now. It's understandable. I wouldn't want to wait 3 years either when I shouldn't have to. But it's unfortunate that each stage often reverses earlier mistakes. We should be able to get it right majority of the time the first time around, but we don't. At least the VA does not. So these are the challenges that we face, just some of them. Sure, they're not the only challenges out there we face when we file a claim. Veterans, there's some challenges that we have from your perspective as well, but I wanted to present this portion here today as the main challenge that we face. Even today, being only a Tuesday, as I'm trying to squeeze this filming in between claims, I feel like I've already worked a month and 2 days because of these errors right here from the VA. The constant speed, volume, work credit, lack of training, clicking of buttons, no reasons or bases, not even addressing the issues correctly or at all. So these are the errors that we face. And I feel that these same errors lead to that belief that the VA wants the veterans to just go away. But they really don't, veterans. They really don't. It just may feel that way. So in the end, again, we won't get past these errors until change is made and it's willing to be made. So I can only hope that the more of these videos I do helps with that change, helps provide a perspective from inside the VA, outside the VA, and a demonstration of the rules and laws that are required in the process. And I can only hope that everybody learns from that, and in return, we all teach each other. So we can get away from this feeling of just go away and deny. So I thank you for listening to the video today and being here. And as always, we'll have another video on Tuesday, and we're going to attempt to extend our footprint in social media, do some fun activities for the holidays for everybody. So look out for those. Definitely will be more active in the TikTok side, and like I said, some other platforms as we get those going. So look for us in other social media platforms where you can learn more, have fun with us. And if you need help with your VA claim, veteranlane.com. Find me there. Schedule a VA case evaluation. It's free of charge. There's no admission at the door to talk to me. See you next Tuesday.